I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news, and I don't mind that so much.
Joining me now is House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. It's great to see you, Speaker Pelosi, 2 days before the election. And there's so much I want to talk to you about: health care, abortion rights, everything at stake here. I do want to start with those comments because, I mean, your family knows better than just about any family in America the very real consequences of Trump's violent rhetoric. And I just want to get your reaction to what he just said at this rally, what we just played for the audience.
Good morning. Wonderful to be with you again on this weekend before the election. I think that what the ex-president just said is a further indication of his cognitive degeneration. You saw recently when he was talking about whether he chose electrocution or being eaten by sharks. Something's very wrong there. And indicative in it also is diminishing the power of the press, which is the guardian of our freedom in our country. So I think people who might thinking about voting for him have to know that he can't last as president for 4 years with his brain deteriorating at the rate that it is, and is clearly evident. And they may be voting for President Vance, which would be a horrible thing for our country.
Had you seen a decline in Joe Biden, and did you think he needed to step aside?
No.
You're joking about that, right?
He can't last as president for 4 years with his brain deteriorating at the rate that it is.
What is going on in this country in 2024 that's different than November 1963 or the summer of 68? Is this a more violent time in our politics?
What is going on in our country is Donald Trump.
You lay it all at his feet.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that he invented some of the negativism, but he exploited it. He normalized it. He is horrible in every way, great in being a great snake oil salesman. So he sells a bill of goods and people buy it. It's a sad thing.
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. That's all you need to know about her.
So we have in the country, you have the, let's say that 30%. They will never vote Democratic. I mean, they're discriminators. Mm-hmm. Some would say haters, but I'm not using that word.
Or the word deplorables you don't want to use.
Oh, no. No, I'm not talking about them. These people are just hopeless.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Mm-hmm. Then there are people.
30% of the country you see as hopeless.
Oh, no, they're Republicans.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, righty then.
Will disintegrate and the fever will break, and suddenly the Republican Party will be the Republican Party of yore.
No, I don't know. You know, believe it or not, I have Republican friends in power, or they were in power, and they say to me, you must defeat them in the general because we can't defeat them in the primary. But when you defeat them in the general, then we can go back to
You're saying you
debate.
have Republican colleagues who are rooting for you to win.
Not colleagues. I didn't say colleagues.
Okay.
They're all enablers.
Okay.
They're terrible. Every single one of them is an enabler of a Republican cult. That's every one of them. I don't know. They go home and they masquerade as moderate, but they ain't. They aren't. Not in any circumstance. What is going on in our country is Donald Trump, a Republican cult. That's every one of them.
I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind. I don't mind that. So I have a piece of glass here. And the problem with that glass is I don't look great on television when you have a 4-inch piece of glass that a howitzer can't go through. No, when you see yourself on television, you say, boy, you're really not very recognizable, to be honest with you, which is good. But here's the problem. So I have glass here, I have glass here. Now, I'm not worried about this. Look, what do I have? A couple of people. And they're friends, generally. There are a couple of people I don't like in that group, but that's like, no, but look at it. Look at it. I have nobody here. What do I need this piece? But where I think I do need a piece is here.
And the thought that a person of such horror could possibly even drive by the White House, much less ever go into it again, was something that was very compelling.
This is Donald Trump.
I don't use his name. Yeah. Well, first let me just say why this election is so important is because that is all at risk. Okay, so my goal is he will never step foot in the White House again. Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning. All I wanted was a better campaign.
In other words, you'd never seen Joe Biden come up short like that.
Never. No, in fact, earlier in the day when I was with the members, they were like, oh, how's it going to be? Trump will be so awful. I said, don't worry about it. Joe Biden's State of the Union is going to show up. It's going to be great. He had it down. He was going to do it. He felt great. And I had confidence in him. I didn't think it wouldn't be good. But anyway, and then that happened. And I think everybody was stunned. It was stunning. So he was in a good place to make whatever decision, the top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Want to know what comes next.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore. Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
You serious?
As I said, and when you get in that arena, you got to be ready to take a punch.
And it's all been worth it for you.
You take a punch, willing to throw a punch for the children.